Hello, it is my privilege to invite you to read Chapter 2 with me of Charlene Darling, A Very Slow Turtle by Beck, one of my personal favorites. Chapter 2 is Tortoise Beach and Cool Cat Cove. The picture is of Tor the turtle. The little stickmen around him are Tor on a surfboard doing the goalpost, the spinning top, the Vegas showgirl, the rolling wheel, the strong man deep lunge into a knee bend and a backflip K-stance. All right, Tor. We left off on where Charlene Darling had just lost her job at Speedy Burger for being too slow. And she is on her way to the Council of Turtles to seek advice for her slow situation. Chapter 2. Charlene awoke to a rude tapping and obnoxious voice chanting, "Wakey, wakey, pour the corn flaky, dude." Quite perturbed, Charlene Not-So-Darling abruptly stuck out her squinty-eyed head just as the rude caller finished with, "Time to come out of your shell. Hello, you're a dudette. Sorry, you obviously need your beauty sleep. Ugh, you're a mess," the strange stranger muttered as he attempted to restore Charlene Darling's hair to some form of decency. "Do you mind?" Charlene Darling adorably snarled. "Not very often," answered the owner of two greenish feet wiggling their toes in the sand. "Ask my mother," popped out of a face suddenly not 1 inch from Charlene's. "Get out of my face! What are you doing here?" Charlene benignly demanded as she stood up and flung back her messy curls. "I might ask you the same thing, dudette," Tor replied. "You're on my turf." Charlene Darling began to feel uneasy and awkward. "Why, what is this place?" she asked. "Tortoise Beach, babe," the young turtle exclaimed with a wide gesture. Charlene held up a scolding finger and said, "Don't call me babe. And who are you, anyway?" "I'm Tory Tuss," Tor answered with a slight bow. "My friends call me Tor." Charlene grimaced. "Tor? Tuss? As in Tortoise Beach, babe. What do I call you?" "My name is Charlene Darling," responded Charlene. "What you doing here, darling?" Tor asked. "My friends call me Charlene Darling," said Charlene. "We're not friends," Tor teased, but he sensed that Charlene was feeling under attack and stuck out his hand to make amends, suggesting, "But we could be." Charlene Darling merely said, "We'll see," and stepped away to look around. Sand everywhere. She had never been this far from home. "The reason I'm here is not to roast your toast," Tor explained. "I'm here for the surf." "Surf? Am I near the ocean?" Charlene Darling asked in disbelief. "Follow me, darling," Tor said as he smiled and scampered to the top of a sand dune. "I wish he'd stop calling me that," Charlene said under her breath, and slowly made her way to the top of the mound. Never had Charlene Darling seen something so vast, so powerful, so magnificent. "The ocean is beautiful," she remarked, and fell into a state of awe, until she heard, "Surf's up!" from a distant Tor. Charlene watched as he ran into the water with his board. She had never seen the ocean, so she had certainly never seen a turtle surf the ocean. Her hand went up to shade her eyes as she followed Tor's every move. He did the goalposts, the spinning top, the Vegas showgirl, and the rolling wheel. "Remarkable," whispered Charlene Darling. Then he did the strong man lunge and a deep knee bend into the back flip K-stance. Charlene went from sitting on her shell to jumping up and down while clapping and screaming, "Bravo! Bravo! He's fabulous!" A tired Tor dragged in his surfboard to meet his exuberant audience. "So, have I won you over, darling?" said a panting Tor, "with my cat-like moves?" "Be careful who you compare yourself to, my thick-skinned friend," said a casually strolling bystander in sunglasses and a tilted hat. "Cal, my man!" Tor grinned as he approached the calico cat and extended a fist bump that was hardly met by a furry paw. "You heading to the sandbox, dude?" "Where else, my green bro?" the cat answered, as his neck bling blinded Charlene Darling's eyes. "Who's the babe with the hair and the squinty-eyed stare?" Cal purred as he closed in on Charlene. She doesn't like to be called babe, my friend," Tor uttered in Charlene's defense. "Her name is Charlene," the reserved turtle piped out before Tor could say darling one more time. "May I invite you to Cool Cat Cove, Charlene? My sandbox is your sandbox, my lovely lady," Cal said as he gingerly took Charlene's hand to kiss. "Yeah," Tor butted in with a slight bump to separate the two. "We'll be on our way, dude. Stay cool, Cal." And Tor ushered off Charlene by the elbow. "Where are we going?" Charlene Darling earnestly asked. "That's a good question," Tor remarked as they kept walking. "Where were you headed before I found you? You don't look the type to camp out on the beach." "No, I'm not," Charlene Darling said. "I live in town about a day's walk from the beach. I lost my job and was headed to the Council of Turtles for advice." "Am I going in the right direction?" "Whoa!" Tor thrust from his gut. "The Council of Turtles? No way! You not only got the right direction, you got the right surfer dude to take you there. I happen to hang at the Capitol quite frequently," Tor bragged. "My peeps are there, and the soda machine for when I'm parched." "Thank you, Tor," Charlene Darling said gratefully. "That would be so very nice of you. Is it far?" Yeah," Tor winced. "Quite a stroll for a turtle. We'll be crossing into other dudes' territories, but no worries, darling. Everybody knows me." "Are you a celebrity?" Charlene inquired with wide eyes, which made Tor laugh. "Nah, I'm just a surfer dude who likes to test the water and cross the lines," was Tor's ambiguous response. Before Charlene Darling could ask Tor to clarify, he let go of the arm with which he had been steering her and said, "When we drop off this dune, we are in Cool Cat Cove, otherwise known as the Sandbox. You know what that means." "What?" Charlene Darling asked. "Watch where you step, darling," Tor said. "They like to bury it, but they don't bury it very good." Charlene's normal, sweet smile turned into a scowl. "Don't get me wrong," Tor continued. "I'm not dissing the cats. They're cool. They're always cleaning themselves, and the tide takes away most of their stuff." "Okay," Charlene Darling decided to agree. "And here we are," Tor announced. After a 10-foot drop, the beach was basically covered with cats sunning themselves. All kinds, all colors, and all donning their own cool accessories. Some had hats and ties, some had sunglasses and cute little swimwear. Many chose to wear shiny, reflective bling around their necks, wrists, or even waist. One such cat was using her necklace bling as a mirror to smooth the fur on her cheeks and fluff the fur on her ears. "What a brilliant idea!" Charlene Darling exclaimed as she approached the beautiful, sleek white cat. "And you are lovely, my dear," Charlene added. "Danke," the German cat replied. "My name is Siglinda." "I am Charlene Darling. May I please borrow that when you are finished?" Charlene asked politely. "I'm afraid I look a fright." "But of course, my darling Charlene, here you are," Siglinda said as she readily shared her neckpiece. Tor whispered in Charlene's ear, "You play well with others." Charlene Darling set her shell in the sand by Seglinda and went to work. She reached nonchalantly into her shell and pulled out a rat-tail comb, which she worked through her tangled tresses. Then she pulled out a length of blue lace to tie around her head, and a dainty tube of lipstick, which she uncapped and ever so carefully applied to her lips with the help of Seglinda's reflective bling. Then she produced a lipstick-stained hanky from her handy-dandy shell and touched up the outline of her ruby-red lips. Tor found the full 15-minute procedure enchanting. He rested the side of his face on his arms, which were propped up by his knees, and secretly gazed at Charlene Darling's methodical movements. When Charlene smacked her top and bottom lips together and asked, "What do you think?" Tor tried to conceal his sentiments with a, "You can never tell what's in a turtle shell." "What?" Charlene Darling snickered. "It's an old turtle adage. You can never tell what's in a turtle shell," repeated Tor. Just then a horrible, agonizing screech and cat-wailing pierced Tor's and Charlene's ears. "Cat fight!" was yelled repeatedly. Seglinda quickly sat up from her cat nap in the sun and placed her neck piece over her head. "When young felines forget they are ladies, I leave on sausage," Seglinda said as she turned tail and ran. "Come on, darling," Tor said while he helped Charlene up. "Stick close to the water. Cats hate to get wet." The two turtles scooted along, not saying anything as the waves slapped against their ankles. Now and then, Charlene would look back, just out of curiosity. Tor noticed this and said, "Best to stay out of a cat fight. Just let the sand and fur fly and cover your ears." "What's next on the tour, my friend?" Charlene decided to ask. "So we have become friends then, have we, darling?" Tor inquired with a glint of whimsy. Charlene conceded and smiled. "I suppose." "What's next on the tour I don't think you're gonna like," Tor said. "It's called Suey Sound. The pigs are the proprietors, and they are, well, pigs." Charlene Darling frowned. "Messy?" "You could say that," answered Tor. "Unlike the cats, who don't like to get dirty, the pigs love it. Their idea of a party is a mud bath. And you want to keep your distance at chow time, darling. Speaking of chow, my belly speaks boldly to me. Hungry?" Charlene immediately answered, "Yes, I am." "Are you partial to salad?" Tor guessed. "Mm-hmm," Charlene eagerly replied. "I know where we can get A1 top-notch prime grade greens fit for a king or queen," Tor proudly said. "Follow me, darling."